let's talk about it. I'm always on the grind. Yeah, let's talk about it. Always got money on my mind. Let's talk about it. You don't like this life of mine. Wanna talk about it? Yeah, I'm always on the grind. Let's talk about it. Okay, I gotta shine. Let's talk about it. Always got money on my mind. Girl, let's talk about it. Say you don't like this life of mine. Let's talk about it. Okay, I'm always on the grind. Girl, let's talk about it. Yeah, I gotta shine. Let's talk about it. Always got on my mind. Girl, let's talk about it.
Yo.
Yo. What's the biz naive? Hey, happy Monday. Happy Monday to everybody out there in the world. What's popping? Man, we got the boy Dirty MAC. He in here. Knowledge is the key. And today we're gonna be discussing the golden teacher, retrograde. All right. So with that being said, I think he knows for sure that you have people leveling up, you have people going crazy, leveling down. The thing is, we're on a teacher's planet, we're on a learning planet. So a lot of the things that we seeing today are things that have already happened. It's just up to you. Are you gonna make different decisions, different choices? A retrograde is actually retracting. It's seeing a lot of things. Things look crazy, but this is actually the time where we can make miracles happen. Like I'm guaranteeing within the next 2 to 3 weeks, people start seeing a lot of miracles. Those people that are thinking, even in the hard times, they find ways to think creativity. They are able to bend and flex. The people who are stuck in the same thing, that they like, hey, this is me. This is what I do. You're gonna see a lot of trying times for a lot of people that are stuck in their ways because there's so much opportunity. It's like if you have puzzle pieces and you attempt to bend yourself to become whatever piece you want to become, you're never going to fit in place. Like we're born to fit in certain type places and we're on a teacher's planet. So speaking of this retrograde, hey, Dirty MAC, man, I just had to get up and talk about this because I see people going through so much that it's like, dang. And man, while we're here, shout out to L Weezy, God Body. Definitely like at the beginning of this retrograde, at the very beginning of this, yeah, man, it started off a different kind of way. So, hey, good energy your way, God body. Definitely, I say we're gonna be tried, but a lot of us are tried, ready to pass these tests. So, hey, man, Dirty MAC, man. I mean, what you feeling? Have you felt anything of a retrograde? I mean, or anything? Do you look at things like kind of wild right now?
Yeah, that is kind of wild, man. My little brother just had a brain aneurysm. He just had surgery. Everything was successful. You hear me? You know, he's a real optimistic dude. He's always looking forward to the future business. And so everything played out to the way it was supposed to play out. But that would have crushed my mom, you know what I mean? So, man, it would crush the whole family, you know. But what caused it, you know, is to be continued. But it is a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. That's the thing why people got to be trying to tell people to tap into their networking system and build bridges before it's too late. You hear me? You know, you got to, because it's a lot of hard times going on, man. People, foreclosures, you know, health. People's in, they got health problems, mental health problems. You hear me? It's a drug epidemic going on. So a lot of stuff is self-inflicted, man. But people still need to build up a networking system to where, you know, I got knowledge. I got, you know, he got me, whoop-de-whoop, vice versa. So, journey of 1,000 miles begins with the single step. You hear me? So, man.
Hey, you know, and speaking of that, and I say, man, once again, shout out to L Weezy, God Body, good energy your way.
Can't keep real niggas down, man. You know, he's just that's a
real
young buck,
talk.
man. He coming up out of it. I was in the word. I was like, man, he coming up out of it. You hear me?
But I can't wait to speak to him because we talk about these recycling the kind of things, and like you say, what caused it. The doctor's gonna tell you they don't know. They're gonna act like it's nothing. They're not gonna bring up the foods, the things that's in it, the lack of exercise, the lack of thinking correct. They're not gonna bring up none of the things that can make your vessels pop open. Some of the things are illegal for us to say online. You know what I'm saying? So when we get to this point, of speaking, we have to be able to communicate with each other, because we have went through things with people that seem like cycles. It seems like cycles, the same thing. I've seen this before. What are we going to do different? Because, I mean, it's perfectly being said. The monetary system is crashing. Like, all of these things are crashing, but human beings are evolving. We should be at an evolving state. I've seen these things before, man. We're going to deal with each other a different way. We have to start speaking to each other a different kind of way, loving on each other a different type of way, respecting each other a different type of way. When all of these things, God body, King Show, God body, what's good with you? Word life. Man, we got to get to these points, because during this retrograde, people are going to be tested to see if you're going to continue the same things that you have done your whole entire life, or are you going to make these changes that are necessary for a whole. It's easy for me myself to say, you know what, man, I'm going to eat right. I'm going to talk to people correct. I'm going to do all these things. But then I go out in the world, I still live with other people. So, you know, when a person masters their higher self, they can learn to communicate as a whole, because they know that they're connected to everything as a whole. When you just know yourself, you end up like the rest of the Americans. We end up selfish. We end up to keep my hut and my TP together, and I don't care about what everybody else is going through. And then people start feeling like nobody cares about me or cares about what I'm going through. So they end up with this selfish state of mind too. And then you get people that think like this. Once they become very wealthy or very rich, it's like, these people ain't helped me. They ain't look out for me. F these people. So now you have this recurring, but this retrograde is the time to change all of that. Like, this is the retrograde that is tied to miracles. I'm trying to tell people right now, and I'm at a point where I rather do than talk. Like, this talking part is cool, but I'm like, let my actions speak. So when I get off of here, in every point of my life is going to be in mind to make sure that I'm in action. Like a bull. I mean, I'm a Taurus, and this is the Taurian retrograde. So when a bull see red, he just charge. And, you know, he keep on with that motion, and that's all you can do. When there ain't nobody else working, got to be working, because this is a retrograde, but your works, this is one where your works are going to pay off. If you can remain thinking consistent on a higher vibration during this retrograde, I'm telling you, you're going to prosper. Shout out to anybody that's going through anything. If you keep pushing through this retrograde, failure is not going to be an option. Failure is not going to be an option. I guarantee success. Guarantee success. So yeah, things look crazy, but don't go off what your eyes see. Go what your soul feel. Go with what your gut's telling you. It's going to always be a way. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Absolutely, man. And a lot of us, you know, most people got limited resources or not a lot of accessibility to things. So your work ethic has to take over. You hear me? When you lack accessibility for currency or, you know, networking skills, your work has to take over. You hear me? That work ethic is like a person hustling on the court. You're not finna beat the basketball team if everybody hustling, they running, they crashing the boards, they crashing, diving for the balls out of bounds, and you're not finna beat them because they hustling. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're applying a lot of energy versus, hey man. So we gotta apply lots of energy, man, especially in these troubling times. Like I say, build up a networking system. Get out of your own way. The world doesn't care about how you're feeling. I could be happy to the mug right now. I could be sad, depressed, anxious to have, and nobody cares. That's the sad but unfortunate truth. So when you're standing on your 10 toes, and you know you're standing up as a man or a woman, you always got to work on building a temple of perfected man or perfected woman. You know, like I say, by ourselves we can't really accomplish much. That's a small-minded individual, but together, you know, great things happen amongst the united effort of many people. Man. So, man, you can't teach this, man. You gotta, you can, you know, get added leadership training, because you might be a leader. You might be a good leader. You might be a poor administrator. You might be a poor leader, but you still need leadership training. You know, everybody needs Jordan, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, LeBron James. Practice. That's all they do is work on their craft. You hear me? So we got some people that think they don't got to do no work. You hear me?
Man.
And you finna bubble up and pop. Like, come on, bro. You got to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
You hear me? Anybody. And you got to be, hey, if you pursuing something, hey, man, you need to give it all. Put your best foot forward, man. That's put your best foot forward.
Best foot forward. And you have to be thinking about yourself with love and care. Like, think about yourself like you value yourself, because this is the whole thing. We all done been through whatever in your life. You remember all the bad stuff you went through, but you don't remember none of the good. So now you have all these pessimistic people walking around the world that are really injured, where it's a time for them to think presently where they're at and actually build from that. The only thing they can think is think through the hurt that they've been through. So when you're dealing with a retrograde, and the only thing you're associated with is slavery, lack of having, all of these different things, you are going to attract situations that confirm what you're thinking. So if you like, hey man, I don't like people. I every time you go around somebody doing some bullshit, guess what you're going to get? And especially during the retrograde, you're going to get that times 20. Whatever you're looking for, it's going to be there for you. So you have to be careful and cautious of what you're thinking and how you're thinking, especially when you're dealing with where it's not just you thinking. Yeah, we're not in this world alone. So we got to start. Yeah, I mean, as I say, like, we got to quit dealing in this hurt, this pain, this trauma. We got to stop dealing in that and start dealing in actually being unlimited. Like these resources that we're dealing with. All right, so let's say the financial system crashes. There are already people that are using NFTs, and it's backed by land. It's not backed by paper money. Well, guess what? The land is infinite. They're destroying the land. So if you base a monetary system based on the land, then guess what you have? Homelessness is over with. All of these different illusions that people have made us think are over with. It's time for us to evolve. Let this thing fall so we can pick up on a different path. Because I mean, this part is crashing. Like I say, if you base your economy is based on land versus on some people just being able to print dollars, now you are having a system where things can be distributed amongst people where they don't think in lack. Because I mean, face it, right now the majority of people are thinking in lack. They think they can't trust nobody. I don't trust people. These are the type of things you hear through people, and it's like, wake up, people. It is your time. They said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So now it's time for the last to actually be first. They so caught up in being the last, they don't even recognize we're in first right now. We're in first right now. You look, man, look at the Gervonta Davis. Shout out to Gervonta Davis. Look at the fight this weekend. He broke some of Floyd Mayweather's records for fighting a person who even people that looked just like Gervonta Davis was rooting against Gervonta Davis.
Man, we got to stop that too.
You know what I'm saying?
Who do you think the Mexicans was rooting for?
Oh, it's no doubt.
It's no doubt.
It's not even a question.
We got to start rooting against each other and place value in ourselves first. See, the problem is a lot of us don't feel we have any self-value. So it's like they walking around with something like we got something to prove. Hey man, just look at I'm telling you, talking about depression, anxiety, all that. I done been through all them emotions. Hey, you got to get that stuff out your heart. I mean, I done been in prison 9 years, living off $11 a month game pay. At some point, not talking to my family for a period of years. My little brother was the only one. That's the only number I got memorized because that's the only one I could pick up and call. You heard? Now that thinking of no family, no help, no whoop whoop. So now you on the Tupac, and it's me against the world, man. Now I can't just get my canteen and just eat it up. If I get $100 drawdown for canteen, I gotta make me a store. You hear me? I gotta get 2 for 3s, 5 for 9s, and 3 for 5s. You know what I mean? It's a buyers and sellers market, man. Yeah, you're doing one or two things with money. You buying something which is spending or you're selling money.
Man,
you work, you hustle, or you steal.
Man,
if you're not doing none of that, you hear me? Hey, man, I'm talking
you
about
panhandling.
You panhandling.
If you're not doing any of that, you panhandling.
You panhandling. Hey, man, who wants to be? Hey, bro, we got to give ourselves real assessments before we can grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how I had to handle myself in prison. Man. I done had stuff. They done snatched it. You hear me? Took everything. Yeah. You got to build it back up. You hear me? Yeah. So everybody got trials and tribulations. But I said that to say this. Yeah. Nobody cares. You hear me? They don't. Nobody cares.
Hey, nobody. And I'm happy you said that, especially the self-assessment part, because that's why I say the trauma is bothering people. When you deal with assessing yourself, you have to deal with ugly parts of yourself that you don't necessarily want to see. If you say exactly that, hey man, you either work, steal, hustle, work, steal, or hustle. This is what or panhandle. If you tell somebody that and they're a panhandler, they're not gonna want to hear and say, if a person living off their woman or the woman living off her dude or however which way, they're not gonna want to hear these truths. But the matter of fact is they're truths, and this is a teacher's planet. The quicker we learn that something is true, our mind and our body, the inner intelligence automatically starts operating to support whatever and work against whatever you think is true. So if you say I have a drug addiction, if you say, man, I don't have my finances in order, guess what? The universe behind you start working towards you getting your finances in order. If you start thinking without this pessimistic mind and stop thinking within this hurt and trauma that you've been through, then you could self-evaluate correctly. The majority of people don't want to be self-evaluated, but if you do, there are miracles to tap in. Like this is why it's so important for me to talk about this retrograde, because it started off like boom, boom, you seeing the negative, but you don't see the beauty in the chaos. You got to be able to see the clarity in the chaos. Like, okay, you shake up something, you see all these snowfalls and all this. You have to be able to say, man, that looks beautiful, be able to see clear through the chaos. And the majority of people cannot find the clarity through the chaos. Like,
we was born in the struggle. It was a struggle for our mothers to bring us into the world. The seed had to germinate for 9 months. We struggled through birth. As a baby, we struggling to start standing up, kept falling down, bam, bam. But eventually we got it. We started walking. You hear me? Then it turned to a job. Everything is a struggle. So it's a struggle before you bubble, man. So we got to give ourselves a real assessment and be like, bam, you hear me? Yeah. You gotta, hey man, always remain optimistic. It's hard not to tell you that money funny. Well, ain't got nowhere to live. You hear me? Relationship bad. You hear me? We ain't talking about nobody in general, but these are things that are going on all across the globe. Domestic disputes is at an all-time high. You hear me?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because each person is sitting here waiting the argument. They not listening to what the other one is saying. They just waiting for their turn. Yada yada yada, and you can't indulge in that shit, man. If you got those type of people around you, your house is not in order. That's the first thing that's gonna keep you off balance, especially as a man. You hear me? So it got to be some type of balance. The women, they like that crazy shit, the tripping and all that. They want the transfer of emotion. Hey, goddamn it, I'm not with that shit. You hear me? So, like I said, I've been in prison. I left all the anxiety, depression, all the sadness, all the hate, all these negative emotions, and you use it to harness it and try to, I tell people to exercise, bro. You relieve a lot of stress. Some people get at it through sex. You hear me? Wasting their sexual energy. But sexual energy is the story of creation. So a lot of time the women, you'll see the women, they'll start practicing abstinence. They say, let me step back from people and get my shit together. You hear me?
And it worked.
The men it worked for them because they start building self.
There we go.
They start building on self.
There we
go. When you keep mixing with the wrong energies, now let's talk about this all the time. Hey man, I'm telling you, you can't mix with the wrong. Even in people, man. Hey, some people they gonna knock your light bulb. They gonna break your light bulb. You hear me?
Hey, for real. Hey, some people you can be doing great. And 6 months from now, you be like, damn, I hate I even ran across. But I say it's because of the thinking. It's because of the mentality, bro. You just hit something big. It is painful when a mother is delivering to create life. it is, man, you talk to some people, it's good that they have the medicines they have nowadays, the epidurals and all that, because if women was doing this stuff the natural way, number one, they wouldn't even be laying down. They would be more like in a squatting position. When they doing this, they would be more in a squatting position. So when you start thinking about these things, man, life can be painful, it can be, but there are miracles within you even coming and going through your mother's portal to come here. That was a miracle. So there are miracles waiting for every single last one out there. We just have to start thinking correct. Like, you have to be more optimistic than pessimistic. The majority of people think about, man, it irritates them to live and see the people that they wake up every day in their house with. They wake up like, damn, I'm tired of so-and-so out here. They not doing this. You might have the hustle and determination. Somebody else you might wake up, might sleep to 2 o'clock every day. When you get up and look at it, like, motherfucker, I'm getting up here, going to work every day, doing all this, and you think you gonna hang out and just sleep. You know what I'm saying? So now this starts traveling with you in your mind every day, where the only thing you can think about is what somebody else doing, how people trying to get over on you, how people are doing this. Man, our environment controls a lot. Once you get control of what you think and your thoughts, and you hold yourself accountable for self, you will see that you have more power than you think you do. You think that you can't control what other people's do or their actions. If you are the example, trust me, people will start following what you do. And it's time to start bringing leaders that are going to be accountable for what they think, accountable for their actions. Some people are born leaders. Some people are taught leaders. But however, it's each one teach one. If there's somebody out there that knows something I don't know, I'm open ears to listening, because you know what? There's a lot of people. I know things that certain people don't know. You might know something I know. Hey, it's each one teach one. Like, we all accountable for, that I have young children. So, I mean, not young children, but I have children. So it would just be like me watching my kids and telling them not to hang with other kids in the neighborhood because they doing stuff that I don't let my kids do. No. If I see them kids, I'm going to correct them too. Y'all my children too. When I see y'all out there, yeah, y'all my youngsters too. I'm going to treat y'all exactly the way I treat the youngsters in my home. If I see you doing something, I don't care what the parents think, or they like, hey, don't say nothing. We don't deal with none of that, because it's time. Like, we're at times where you'll get mad if somebody say, hey, say something to your child, but when they go to the school, they might take you to court, truancy court. Just when COVID was going on, if your kids had to miss 2 weeks if they tested positive. Now, the very next year, your kids miss over 2 weeks, you're in truancy court. So when you're dealing with people who can make up rules as they go along, systems that can make up rules as they go along, and people that can't work with other people, there's problems. 4 hands work better than 2. Absolutely. 10 heads work better than 1 head. Absolutely. So if we start thinking on a unit, as a unit, a unified way, the only thing people want to connect with right now is money and sex. Like,
bullshit.
And bullshit. And bullshit. Oh, you can't beat the bullshit. You can't beat it. But it's serious times.
Yeah, I try to stay away from it, man. Like I said, I try to, anybody on some bullshit, I'm trying to stay on. I know high power bullshit. Hey, prison is full of that. You hear me? Whatever you're looking for, you walking around with a chip on your shoulder. Somebody want to see what you fist to do.
Yeah, they're gonna knock it
Somebody
out.
You want to be bad, you the big bad. You feeling like you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Talk out of you, call a man a bitch. Man, you feeling I'm call this up here. You gotta learn to control your mouth. People gotta learn to control their mouth, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you can't master your mouth, you can't master your emotions. And you haven't mastered self. And if you haven't mastered self, how the fuck do you want somebody else to follow you? You know what I mean? So we got to give ourselves real assessments. So I say check yourself, so nobody else don't got to check you. You hear me?
Real time.
You shouldn't. And we all teachers and students. Like you're a teacher.
Real time.
And you're a student in your house from your children. You learn from your children how to be a better father. You hear me? How to be, and how to have better judgment of character. It's like, man, we all got to do better, and we got to give ourselves a personal assessment.
I'm happy you brought that up, because I had a situation yesterday where I damn near had a breakdown in front of my 17-year-old daughter where I had to tell her because certain situations have happened. Like I say, we in a retrograde. So a lot of times you have to go back over your life and see where you could have corrected things or when you can correct things. So I had a situation where I felt like it was very a great thing that I had to tell my daughter that, hey, I was broken as a young child too as well. So when things didn't work out with your mom or I did things to damage her as a woman, these are things I would be accountable for now as a man as to where I'm at now. I say, yeah, I damaged that lady. I did hurt that lady. But however, it wasn't at the point where she should have tried to turn your youth against you. When she know that you mean they mean the world to you. So I had to let my daughter know that so they don't repeat the same things in their life. You start seeing certain things and it's like, damn, I didn't transfer the trauma that I have to my children, and now they coming up with generational things that they're gonna have to deal with. And during this retrograde is a perfect time to stop that. Like stop, yeah. If it's trauma and pain that you're passing, stop it now.
More than
Stop
one.
it now, and you're gonna see miracles. You say what?
I'm talking what a shout out to more than one.
You know, yeah, more than one.
More than one.
Oh, Lincoln Green, peace. Yeah, man. But hey, man, it's time to get back to our ancient selves. You know, if we can see the slavery in our list, we got to be able to see the ancient ones that built establishments that's been up over 100,000 years, 90,000 years. They built homes, and them homes are still there. They call them pyramids. You know, you have the Kemetic, the Kemetics, the Mayans. There's pyramids in Mississippi. There's pyramids all over the Americas. Like, we have these ancient people that left. You know what? If we believe in walking in fear, then that means, you know, it's a great quote from our ancestors. If you're walking in fear, then you don't believe in your ancestors. You don't believe that you came here from these ancestors that built all of these different things. If you're walking in fear, so there is no longer any fear of economics. There's no fear of somebody harming you. All of these things are choices now. We don't have to walk in this fear. Shout out to Alika Green, man. Self-care is definitely a must. Like, I can't love nobody till I love myself. And if you love yourself, capital S, capital E, capital L, capital F, self, then you realize the true self is connected to everything in this universe and outside of this system. It's all connected. So if you love your true source, your true self, you actually love and know how to bring in everything. And, you know, this is just an enlightenment to where we got to get to. And what better doing this Tarian retrograde? Because if we see it, we're going to develop such a momentum, so much momentum that when this retrograde is over with, we're gonna be cracking through the silver lining. It's gonna be, yeah, it's just like a comet entering or a sperm entering a mother's womb. It develops and creates this being, and then we come out as miracles. If we keep thinking positive and keep thinking level that we need to, we're gonna crack through barriers with this retrograde.
And you know, it's some people think the ability to see problems is a gift, and to notice the problems, the obstacles before they appear on the horizon is some site of insight. You hear me? But you have to anticipate problems along the course. Nothing's ever going to go smoothly. You hear me? It might be some complications in the pregnancy. It might be some complications during the lifetime, but, you know, as we fall down, we get back up. You know, we got to learn to fail forward, because failure is not, according to the Small Business Administration, 7 out of 10 businesses fail. You hear me? So just because you might want to start a business and fail, oh, I couldn't do it. Does that mean you keep stopping? No, you keep going. Okay. You learn from your mistakes that you made this time and be like, okay, I'm not going, if it happens again, you know, so you just got to learn to fail forward, because you're going to fail. You hear me? You're going to fail in relationships. You're going to fail pursuing jobs. You're going to fail pursuing careers. You just have to learn how to fail forward and grow from your failure, so it makes you a stronger person. So great things don't happen in a day. Egypt wasn't built in a day. You hear me? And this is the most majestic civilization known to mankind right now.
Yeah.
Right now. You hear me? It wasn't built in a day.
And there you go. Shout out to Lincoln Green too, man. We appreciate the comments definitely. Hey, bro, babies fall. Babies fall to learn how to walk. So if your business failed, then guess what? It was certain things you needed to learn to tighten that business up. People fail all the time. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. We have to stop operating in fear. Don't let a sense of failure or a sense of this not being okay stop you from making sure that you're okay. The only way you're going to make sure you're okay is you push. And then the universe is going to meet you more than halfway. But you got to be able to see it. Like I say, we think so pessimistic. We don't really believe in our ancestors because we were cut from our ancestry. If you get cut from your ancestry, then you're not rooted. And you're dealing with a lot of people that are not rooted. They're not rooted. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're being cut from your ancestry. You're not rooted in your true heritage. You're not rooted in the true history. You know, what would trees be right now without their roots? You know what I'm saying?
Let me say I straddle that fence of what you just said. This is what, and we argue about the titles: niggers, Negroes, blacks, African Americans, and a lot of brothers don't subscribe to them titles. The reason I subscribe to those titles is because they're defined for us. So some of view it as you separating yourself from your people, but some of view it as, no, this doesn't connect me to my nationality. This is where they fucked up in the African American things, because being tied to our ancestral roots to the tree, because Africa is telling us we're the indigenous people of Africa, in which we all know that's the birth, the motherland. You hear me? Mm-hmm. And then here, Americans as well, we're tied to the roots here. We're the Indians that they're talking about. They didn't bring us here from slavery. We were already here. So in my book, they fucked up African Americans because it ties us into two lands as being the indigenous people. So we have to proclaim our birthrights. Now, it doesn't matter what we go to DC as a unit and say we're this. Hey, hey, where are the niggers? We're all the niggers, as they said. But we're gonna go to DC, you hear me? And we're gonna unify so we can get reparations that belong to us. We have to claim the title to our vast estate. But we arguing over, I'm not black, I'm not nigger, I'm not African. Well, who are you? You hear me? Because the Constitution proclaims for every man to declare his nationality and his religious indoctrination. So the 3/5 of a human, that's back, they snatch the language. They snatch our native names. So we don't know who, it's an identity crisis. We don't know who the fuck we is.
Definitely. Hey, and you hit on strong points. You hit on strong points because, but number one, the reason why I say we can't subscribe to black, you can't subscribe to African American, you can't subscribe to Indian American, because this is America. So how are some people just Americans, but you're African American or Indian American or Asian American? Like all of these other synopses, these other things exist because they need to move you far away from the land. So if I say you're from Africa, but you're in America, then I don't owe you reparations because your nationality is with the Africans. They need to pay you reparations. If I say you're Indian America, guess what? India is on the other side of the world. The Indians owe you. They need to pay you. But if I say these are the original Americans, these are the people that were in this land that we are calling America prior to us coming here, or prior to taking over this part of the land, now I owe them to repair them because they were from here. They were originally here, and we took away and desecrated what they have. I have to repair this situation. So that's what we're dealing with now is we can repair our own situations. We can be self-accountable for ourselves and actually repair our own situations. We just have to be accountable. We didn't get all these things taken away from us, and it was nothing we could do about it. A lot of these things are choices. They were choices back then. They're going to be choices today. We know that the financial system is crashing. We know that the monetary system, the way it used to be, is going away. It's changing. We know that we have been controlled like insects with economics for the longest. But the one thing we haven't done was depend on each other, or to learn ourselves enough to where we can truly connect and depend on each other a different type of way, a totally different type of way. And like I say, during this retrograde, the last thing I can leave out there with the people, like I say, is definitely stay focused on any goal, anything that you've been wanting to achieve for a long period of time. Stay focused on it and look at it like, I am going to accomplish this. There is nothing that can stop me. Shout out to Lincoln Green. I'm got to read your comment. This is why it's so easy for us to kill each other, because if we truly knew who we were, we would not kill our kin, even if we knew who people were. Rootless people are the easiest to destroy. Shout out to Olika Green, man. That is definitely true. I graduated school in Alabama, and up the street is Dadeville. A 16, 17, and 21-year-old. I think they arrested 5 people now, but they shot 28 people. 4 died, 5 was less in critical condition. But these young
you
people,
know who get diplomatic immunity?
the people
Now
who
you know
build the people
who
who make
build
the
the
guns.
guns.
The people who make the guns, the gun makers.
People
gun makers.
no, I'm pretty sure he couldn't have killed 30 people or shot 30 people. He can't do it with a bow and arrow.
No, they
it's
they
no
definitely
way.
can't.
Yeah.
But
how do these people get diplomatic immunity?
The gun makers are the same people that have uprooted you, that make it where you don't know your roots. They're the same people. These are the same entities that create all these things, but we don't realize intelligence. And then through not realize intelligence, we don't realize our own intelligence. So this is why it's so important for us to start recorrecting the way we talk to each other, the way we eat, the way we communicate. And shout out to everybody out there too, man. Peace and love. I definitely, like I was going to, we got to stay on this vision and stay on our goals. Anybody I can network out there with that want to come up and pull up on a podcast with us, y'all hit us up. We looking to build a nation amongst many people. You know that like people look at it like money moves things. People move things. Now the money is an instrument of current. It's the instrument of currency. If you buy and you sell and you move your current, the medium that we use to that is the money that they use now. But let's not take away from the source of the current being you. You are the value. The value is in you. If you have $1 billion and you set it out in a field and you say, you know what, I want $1 million condo built right here with $1 billion. Guess what? The $1 billion cannot get up and build that condo. They're gonna call people. They're gonna contract. They're going to do all they can do to get people to build what they need done. So this is the current that they're using of exchange. But however, the value is in the people. So we got to start showing people how valuable they are. I want to make sure that everybody knows that they're valued. Yeah, I say shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, man. You are appreciated and you are definitely valued. You are definitely valued. And like I say, this road to where we're going is not going to be easy. Everybody out there, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Definitely stay tapped in. And if you want to pull in, like I say, we always appreciate the comments. We're going to be commenting on them. Appreciate Dirty Max. See, he on it. And he be on it like, he be in there like swimwear, man. But yeah, at the same time, man, yeah, you got any closing statements out there for him, man, for the world, brother?
All right, man. Y'all pull up, pull up, and roll up. You hear me? Come chop it up. This is a think tank. We come together and we congregate. Sometimes we get to vent about our problems that we can't talk to our actual real partners to. Sometimes this is a therapy session. You hear me? You know, whatever yours. If you're heterosexual, if you're homosexual, we want to discuss things. We want to find a medium. It's a balance between whatever. In all walks of life. You hear me? You're a pimp player, you're a hustler, you're a corporate man, you're a corporate woman. You know, we prefer mothers to pull up because these are the superpowers. They're bad. One of the homies told a joke the other day. He said he was cooking, man. And he sell plates. Man, I was on the floor laughing. He like, man, you want me to cook the food, sell the plates? I said, I ain't no super mama. Hey, you know, the super mama, you know how super mom handling everything. She boom, boom. These are the people with the personalities that we would enjoy conversing with, you know, because they handling a lot of different things. The men, they crazy, they gone, they off to the next. They ain't doing, you hear me? The women have to hold down the fort. They stuck with the kids, you hear me? Through trials and the tribulations, you hear me? You know, so My mom used to always say, I'm going to tell your dad. I'm looking at her. You talking about pops in here, my stepdad? You hear me? I didn't grow up with my dad. Why are you saying that? You know? But yeah, man, these are the personalities that we want to hear on here, man. So y'all pull up, and I always keep yourself on the swivel and protect your chakras, man. You learn to, and Brother Knowledge say it all the time, learn to observe people's energy instead of absorbing it. Don't absorb people's energy, because right now it's a mental health epidemic going on. It's a lot of pessimistic thinking, and how can we tell you not to be absolved with your feelings? You hear me? Just you got to learn to control the energy. Okay, if everybody in here just chilling, laying up every day, no, I'm finna change the energy. I'm working out. I'm finna spend my time working out. I'm finna spend my time cultivating my body. I'm finna spend my time cultivating my craft, whether it's podcasting, whether it's rapping. You got to isolate your thoughts from the world, because right now the ethers is dictating. It's the divide and conquer tactics. Be isolated. Don't go outside. Stay in the house. Cut up all your networking system. Watch the dummy tube all day, the dummy box, sitting staring at the wall. This is doing nothing that makes the earth go round. You hear me? So we have to engage in commerce. Sell you some clothes. Sell you some shoes. You buying or you selling, man. So in closing, man, work on your networking system.
Man, great closing statement. And I would like to say that, man, amongst people, even the people we talk to, it's time to start doing business. We know the way currency and all that is ran. So business is actually two words: busyness. Like just putting your energy in the correct place where it's needed. That's all we have to do, is stay busy where we are needed to stay busy at. And with that being said, definitely everybody pull up. Like Dirty say, the single mothers, a great thing, because y'all need a support system. Like y'all ought to appreciate it. Y'all need to keep your head up. The heterosexual, the homosexual, man. And I'm gonna end it with this, because I ran across a dude. I wouldn't call him homosexual, a Mexican brother, but how which way, man, this guy had tattoos all on his face. We going to a studio just last week, and this dude say, yeah, man, I just got out of prison. You can kind of look at him and tell too, like, say he just got out of prison. He say for attempted murder. Say, damn, bro, you know what happened? And he looking at the ankh I got on. He looking at the spiritual stuff that I got on, and he like, yeah, bro, I used to see a lot of that kind of stuff in Mexico. I say, yeah, because we the same exact people. There's no difference between you, me. There's no difference. So when I'm saying this, he said, yeah, man, the reason why I got out of prison is because a dude used to molest me when I was 5 years old. Say he got 17 and he seen the dude and he tried to kill him. He beat him halfway to death. Say, you know, I couldn't. And he was in the car with his girlfriend. I mean, I really told him, I was astonished that he was actually open enough to say that, because most men would think that they gay, or they would think that there's something wrong where they wouldn't want to say this in front of a lot of people. But he felt comfortable enough to tell me. I even told him, bro, I want to pull you up on a podcast, because like, damn, you got raped when you was 5. Somebody was molesting you and you couldn't defend yourself. A lot of people would look at it and say, man, you got your ass, but you gay. Like, nah, bro, we got to start being able to discuss, no matter whatever people go through. They need to feel comfortable in that space, because you don't know who that person is going to evolve and become. You never know who they're going to be. So all of the judgmental, pessimistic way of thinking, like, let's change that. So, you know, everybody out there, do me a favor, like, do yourself a favor. Challenge yourself. If a negative thought or a thought of lack, replace that with a thought of greatness. You are brilliant. You are capable. You are more than capable. You are beautiful. Shout out to y'all, man. Have a beautiful, blessed, happy Monday. And make sure y'all tap in for real. Hey, we always here. Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Say you don't like the life I live. Girl, let's talk about it. Alright, I'm always on the girl. Let's talk about it. Always got money on my mind. Girl, let's talk about it. Say you don't like this life of mine. Wanna talk about it. Yeah, I'm always on the grind. Let's talk about it. Okay, I gotta shine. Let's talk about it. My money on my mind. Girl, let's talk about it. Say you don't like this life of mine. Let's talk about it. Okay, I'm always on the let's talk about it. Yeah, I gotta shine. Let's talk about it.